right, you know what? We've hit big tech, we've hit big banks, big oil. Now it is time for big media, media mania. Media giants report earnings next week with CBS, Comcast, Time Warner, Viacom. The first out of the gate. We're looking for the best way to play them all right now in 3 versus Trish. We have with us RBC's David Bank on the fundamentals. We have Alex Burnell. He's our chart guy. We have Mark Sebastian on options. Looking forward to talking to all you guys. Kicking it off with David here. Who do you like the best out there in media?
Well, look, CBS is our top pick, so we like it the best. I think going into earnings of all those companies you mentioned, the greatest shot for a kind of a beat on the quarter is likely to be CBS. And we think we're going to see continued beats and raises on this stock for like the next year and a half.
Why do you like CBS so much?
Well, look, I think we've entered kind of a new golden age of content right now where you've got these increased amount of distribution platforms like the Netflixes and the Amazons and the Hulus and likely more coming, Fios, Coinstar, JV, all these things. They're just buying content and monetizing it in ways for the studios that they hadn't been able to monetize before.
How is CBS able to do that?
Well, CBS is the closest thing there is to a pure play content company, you know, in the big cap world. And they're able to do it by taking their library, taking all these hit shows like the CSIs and the NCISs, as well as the old stuff, you know, the I Love Lucy.
I was just going to say the I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
And they can sell this to people who are looking for the content. Okay,
That's
so
right.
CBS is your top pick, David. Alex, from a technical perspective, which stock is looking like it has the most opportunity to break out, the most opportunity to make money on?
Well, I looked at all these charts, and basically Time Warner is sitting right at a key level. Despite the pullback in the market, it's really nudging up against a 38 level. It's hit there 4 times previous, and so if the stock catches a bid, it's really going to explode to the upside. It basically has measure move targets of about 44 on the short term and up to about 50 if it can get through this level with high volume. The other charts are very similar in nature, but this one's really nestled right against a pivot zone, so that's the best one that I see so far.
All right, and Mark, over to you. From an options perspective, how are things looking in the media world?
Well, you know, all their volatilities are relatively low. You know, they're all a little bit ticking up into earnings, but none of them are kind of off the charts. But if you looked at the industry as a whole relative to, say, the VIX, they're all pretty elevated, which you'd expect with earnings. The one that kind of looks interesting to me is Comcast. It doesn't really move around that much. Its volatility is a little elevated. I like it because it's not just media, it's media and content delivery. You know, we heard David talking about how content's important. Well, I'd rather own the content in NBC and be able to deliver it, which I really like about them long term, and they've had consistent growth. So with Comcast,
you bring up an important point.
Put spread.
An important point, Mark.
Yeah.
And back to David on that, because, you know, as Mark just pointed out, he wants to own the content and he wants to be able to deliver it. CBS is in the position of just owning it.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you know, you're seeing some disruption in the distribution business, particularly on the video side. Mm-hmm. So I think you've got a clearer path to uninterrupted growth on the content side than you do on the video distribution side. The real beauty of what's going on at a Comcast outside of their content is more on the broadband distribution side than the video side. So I believe right now you're going to see less disruption for the content players than you will on the distribution side. There's a lot of disruption going on the distribution side. Okay,
Mark, we're almost out of time, and I want to make sure the viewers hear your options play right now, so tell us your trade.
Yeah, well, with volatility a little elevated, I like selling the CMCSA 30-29 put spread, collecting about 30 cents. When earnings come out good and it just kind of does nothing, that'll collapse to almost zero. Try and buy it back for less than a dime.
All righty, we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much to the whole gang. Here's your cheat sheet. You heard David Banks' top pick. It is CBS. Alex Burnell likes the bullish trend on Time Warner. Mark Sebastian put it on a bullish trade there on Comcast. A lot of ways to trade these.